Welcome to the Uncle Hack Podcast, where dudes pretty much just talk dude shit.
Well, that is annoying. You know what? We started the show 10 minutes ago, and I look over, and we're not even recording. And my God, it's like falling apart here. Stand-up comedy dates coming soon, coming soon to a town near you. We only got a few on the books right now. Be sure to head on over to dangercatshop.com. Get tickets today. You're looking at, what do we got here? July 20th in Grand Prairie, July 24th in San Jose, July 26th in Los Angeles, October 17th, Thunder Bay, October 19th, Fort St. John. The Victoria Island shows have been moved to September, and we're also working on getting that Edmonton date going. We got a different little plan in the mix here with it. We will keep you updated as soon as we have a concrete plan with it. A little bit more interesting of a show. We will let you know in the near future what's going on there. Isn't that fun, huh? What do we have in store for you? These past couple of months, it has been quite the endeavor. It feels like a 5-month hitch. That's what I feel like I've been on. We'll get into it. I'm going to have a little bit of a therapy session. I'm going to talk about me, and then we'll get into a lot of things that are unfolding in the world with Canadian media failing again, the Libs' response to how to rebut at a barbecue to conservatives. This is quite interesting. The Liberal Party put this on their website, and I found it quite amusing, and I feel you as well. Global news. Coming up later in the show, back on the show, our favorite news outlet of all, our favorite blog site of them all. They got concrete evidence, allegedly, that Trump said the N-word. I haven't done this show in so goddamn long that I forgot how what is where on the sound pad, and now I'm looking like a fool in front of all you people. Like, the thousands that are streaming this every hour by the hour. This is a very popular show on the internet, despite what the numbers say. There's these offshoot sites that we stream to as well. Millions of views. Tell a friend about the show if you enjoy it. Why don't you promote yourself, Hack? Why don't you? The Patreon episodes, head on over to patreon.com/dangercat69. The link is down below if you are interested in supporting the show, supporting this endeavor that I find myself on, tackling all the issues that people are scared to talk about in this country, huh? Let's talk about immigration, folks, huh? No, I'm kidding. Calm down. We're just, it's the first week back. You've been on the road. Talk about the road. It has been fun. It's been quite the endeavor. It's been, like I said, it feels like a 5-month hitch, and you finally get home, and then like an idle mind just, it exudes exhaustion at this point, and I don't know how to unwind and relax. I'm trying to learn that again. Being under a constant state of anxious, like this, and I hate to use the term anxiety because it's not even that. The pressure to pull off what we have in the past 5 months was immense. I feel like most comics couldn't handle, and I'm not saying this egregiously. I'm just saying this in, seeing what was thrown at us and the endeavor that we had in front of us as a trio. I couldn't be more proud. And this is a total lemonade stand that we have operating, all three of us are all in. We take care of everything ourselves, from, putting on the show to making sure it happens and booking it and doing all that. It's an in-house operation, and it's been quite the adventure, We don't have a PR team to guide us in the right direction, to say the correct things at the right time. Our emotions are on our sleeve, and we wear them proudly. if that's the even right way of using that term. Who gives a shit at this point? You know what? We're just rambling on. We're going to have a great show today. This is going to be one of the best shows you've ever seen. Hack has been sleep. I finally get sleep. You ever been deprived of sleep for so long that like all of a sudden your body is like crashing? Like it's just telling you, no, sleep some more, sleep some more, sleep some more. I've never felt this in this capacity before. And it's wild. But I'm happy with the outcome despite, some of the trials and tribulations. There's high watermarks, there's low watermarks, like we just did our first show ever in Las Vegas. That's right. In the live entertainment capital of the world, I would say, there's many other places that you could argue where that place is, but we aren't going to do that because there's not another person in the room to debate it with me about. But we go out there, we pump off a show at Wise Guys Comedy Club, have a wonderful show. They're excited to have us back. That's right, booked on the spot. Hey boys, how's it going? Who are ya? What's going on over here? Michael Bublé, step aside. There's a new fucking short cock in town. So you go through that, and then you got to go through the nonsense that's taking place in Canada while trying to enjoy yourself being in a city like Las Vegas. So it's quite the whirlwind. So it's nice to put her back in first gear, enjoy life for a moment here, because it was for a while there. You're looking and it's like, how are you doing it? And it's like, well, I'm not even on cocaine anymore. I don't even know. Just sheer hopes and dreams. The liquor isn't even guiding me. The liquor isn't even in the driver's seat anymore. It's just it's not even in the passenger. It's in the trunk, suffocating. Turn here. And you're like, shut the fuck up. Maybe if the booze was leading the charge on this goddamn fucking Capitol riot, we might be somewhere fucking quicker. Actually, I'd probably have no career at all. We've seen the videos of old hacky poo on the liquor. Not good for anybody. My loved ones, my family, my friends, foes, enemies, that is just... It's like giving methamphetamine to the Joker. You would never do that if you were Batman. Why would you want to make an even more powerful enemy? But that's the joy of it. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. Support the show. Why don't you? You come here every week. I give you this content. I know I'm begging you. Fucking support the show. What am I going to do? But in other news, we got lots to talk about. Like I said on the show, fucking the tits lady, the Edmonton Oiler lady that dumped her cans. That's first article right out of the gate. But before that, other news, the last exclusive episode on the page is Sam Walker and I discussing the death of Robert Picton and how that man has blood on his hands. Now, and I mean Sam Walker. He put out that fucking shirt, right? Caused all this this conundrum to happen, and then all of a sudden he put out a hit. He got a hit. He fucking murdered a man. He murdered a man by putting out a t-shirt. Blood on his hands, and I imagine he sleeps even better at night, that psychopath. Lying on his back, like coffin style sleeping, very relaxed. You look at him and you be like, that is the deepest slumber I have ever seen. And you can tell by the decibels released off of his snore. It is rumbling glass or glasses of water, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex walking on fucking Jurassic Park. Insane. Light fixtures are swinging when he takes an exhale or an inhale, whichever. Either or, he makes a lot of noise when he snores. And I think the snore just got a little deeper once he read that headline that Robert Picton was dead, because he knows that he did it. He knows that he did it. He's the man behind it all. He called the hit. How didn't he call the hit? How isn't he the man behind the sword on that one, huh? Whispering into the fucking guy, hey, you want a honey bun? You want some Twizzlers? How about a little coffee? Huh? You want some coffee? For a pack of cigarettes. Make him die. And allegedly, get this, folks. Apparently, rumor has it, the man that murdered him shoved a broomstick up Robert Picton's ass, and the internal bleeding did the rest of the work. You know, did all the heavy lifting there. Giving a whole new meaning to stuck like a pig, you know? All right, calm down out there. Knock it off. It was good, I know. Writing in the moment, that's what we do on this show. But enough of that nonsense. Let's get into some better stuff. You know, Canadian media is failing, and we're going to talk about that. The Libs drop responses for conservatives, and the Libs drop responses for conservative talking points at the barbecue. That's what rebuts at the barbecue. Trump says the N-word, but guess what? Tits are back, ladies and gentlemen. Tits are back. The Edmonton Oilers are in the Stanley Cup final, and some lady in the fucking, I don't even think she's in the nosebleeds, you know? She dumps the cans. And this is how you know the world is here. First off, Toronto had what? The dart guy? They had the dart guy. Pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. Pretty cool. Can't knock that guy. He's a cool guy. Can't chirp that guy. I like him. Any fucking slightly overweight fella that looks like his time to shine is whenever a mall Santa job fires up, has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I get a little bit excited, you know? It's nice to see a tow truck driver get some shine. But then you go, where? What does Vancouver got? What do they got? What are they showing off? A non-binary's new fucking brush cut? Is that what's going on? Oh, check out the non-binary's bowl cut out there in Vancouver, sitting in the nosebleed. You come to Edmonton, this is what you get. A fresh set of double Ds being pulled out. I don't even know what section she's in. Who gives a shit? Nobody's looking at the ticket number. What section is she sitting in? Dumps them out, and it goes viral on Twitter. Everything. The whole world's talking about the lady that showed her cans at a Stanley Cup playoff game, giving hockey the most credibility out of them all right now. People are loving hockey because of this, and that's what it's all about. You know, Gary Bettman keeps trying all this silly, goofy, fucking Disney-like bullshit to get more eyeballs on the sport, but this is all you need. You just need a good surgeon and a woman that's starving and craving attention. And there you have it. You have drawn in a whole new audience to the game of hockey. Now everybody's going to be tuning in to check out the stands to see how many pairs of titties are going to be dumped out. Is this going to be a challenge in the Stanley Cup final of who's going to dump the nicest ones? Because Florida's got, hey, let's be honest. Let's cut the cake exactly how it should be. That's going to be a tough battle. If we're going titty versus titty against a place like Miami, oh boy, we got our work cut out, which isn't a bad Stanley Cup final, you know? Stanley D Cups. Oh, what an angel. And now nobody has been able to track this woman yet, but get this headline of the day reads, Edmonton Oilers fan is offered porn site deal after flashing boobs during NHL conference final win over Dallas. Now we've seen this once before with a fine woman out of Alberta, right? And it took place during the Calgary Stampede. We remember this, the Trampede. We all witnessed the video, getting tripoded in a back alley for like Paul Wall tickets or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember what Nelly tickets. Again, no one cares about the reasoning. It's all about the video that goes viral, right? Whatever. Hey, Oilers win, get them out. Get them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell with the barrel in your mouth. Dump them out, dump them out. And this little angel dumps her fucking perfectly incisioned and placed D's on a camera Video goes viral and we can't track this woman down. This is the airplane lady 2.0. Except it's more like, instead of that motherfucker, instead of hearing some scratchy voice that you probably hear at home when you come home a little too late and beers on your breath, reeking like cigarettes, you know, sorry, I smell like a good time. I'm home. You can ruin it. You know, one of those situations that you get yourself into as a married individual in your late 30s, right? And then this little ray of sunshine pops up and gives us what the world actually needs to heal. What is going on out there? You know, there's a lot of things we're allowed to say. Gay, retard. We're 15 minutes, into the show. So they're not tracking it anymore. I'm not cussing. But you're allowed, apparently rumblings in the street is you're allowed to say gay and retard again. Eminem just dropped a new music video calling everybody a pussy. And now we got tits all over the fucking NHL. The world is coming back. Are we seeing it? People are screaming and yelling about the pride festivals and immigration. Like the 2000s are back. You know, I didn't think I'd ever see this era again in my life. I was one of those people being like, what's the hotline to the maids program? Get me out of here. And then all of a sudden, just a drastic swing. We're coming out of this quite nicely. You know, for a while there, right? We had the masked up dipshits screaming and yelling at us about fucking, and you're going to kill me. If you go outside, you're going to kill me. It's like, you don't even go outside. How am I going to kill you? We had those dipshits all screaming and yelling out in the streets. You know, everything's racist. And now it's just slowly coming back in a hard crashing wave. I thought the pendulum would slowly swing back, but it's like being released in a manner that I am here for, you know? I am here for. Not that, you know, and this might be a controversial take, you know, it's Pride season, it's Stanley Cup time. We might see a civil war in the streets. We might see if there is a Stanley Cup parade that's taking place during the Pride festivals, a Pride season, whatever it is at this point, I can't keep up anymore. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just here. This is an appreciation episode. Okay, gents? It's an appreciation episode. And this young lass decides in the heat of the moment, in the glory of victory, that it's time to release the teats. And it's probably made thousands of people happy. And that's across the gender spectrum. Men to woman. Men to women. That she has brought joy and happiness back into the household. You know, this has been a talking point now for a week. A talking point for a week. This is like game 5, I think this happened at. No, it was game 4. Game 4, she dumps him out. We're still talking about it. I believe game 4 was like last Tuesday. Oh, it's a beautiful sight to see, you know. And we're going to go to the TMZ article because it has everything we need in it, you know. Edmonton Oilers fan gets porn site after show your boobs again with us. Okay, porndude.com. So if the Edmonton Oilers fan who flashed her boobs on camera wanted another crack at the experience, a super popular porn site tells TMZ Sports it would be more than happy to give her the avenue. A rep from the Porn Dude, an adult website that snares over 61 million views a month, said after seeing the woman display her assets during the Oilers versus Stars Western Conference final last month, they want her in front of a cam. Is that so? The spokesperson said they believe her boobs were made for porn and are offering her a place on their famous Porn Dude casting set. Now, that's a bit extreme, isn't it? It's a bit extreme. Hey, come get fucked on camera, even though you just flashed the cans. Like, come on, let's reel it back in. Can't we just, this is our Mona Lisa right now. This is our Mona Lisa. And everybody's trying to profit off this fucking thing. Just allow art to exist without some greedy prick rubbing his fingers trying to figure out how I can, let me milk this cow for a little more, huh? Can't you just appreciate it? Instead, you got your fucking wallet in your hand instead of your cock like the rest of us. What are we doing? We're beaten to those things as the good Lord intended. Do you think that she just dumped him out so that way some fat fucking roly-poly could get out his checkbook? Now, gratefully so, if that young lass is smart. Now, Cam Soda is offering up to $100,000 to show her tits off, just as she did the other night on one of their streams. $100,000 up front, not bad. Seeing as you probably, like, given it's the Western Conference Final, you probably, you know, if you paid for your own ticket, you're in the whole 800. You pump back a few of them beers at $20 beers. We went over this. It's $1,000 night regardless. $99,000 back in your pocket for having a viral video. The only problem is nobody knows who this woman is. I am surprised that the internet has yet to track this lady down. I'm sure that somebody somewhere knows who it is, and we're just like kind of keeping it hush hush. But God bless this lady. You know, this is a female appreciation podcast today, and it's women like that make the world go around. You know, we've had enough of the fucking "excuse me, you can't say that. Are you vaccinated? Oh, J.K. Rowling is a transphobe." It's like enough. You know. You know how many men are going to protect this lady at all costs? Now, all the perverts and whatnot come out of the woodworks on this, but then there's guys like me that just say, hey, thank you. That's all we want to say on this podcast is thank you. You did the right thing in the right moment. You put a lot of smiles on a lot of people's faces. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then the greedy porn industry just seeks a moment. And then here's the fucking funny thing is like, OnlyFans was like, hey, why don't you make an account? Make an account? Make an account? Cam Soda's offering me $100,000. Why wouldn't I just go do that? I'll sit there in an Oilers jersey, clock in $100,000, run up the tokens, and be like, all right, you want to see them? You want to see, and then just keep kind of playing around, sit there for a couple hours, run up the tokens. And then she probably walks out of there with another $125,000. Holy shit. Which means people looking for her could have somewhere in the area of 7 opportunities this month to find her out in public. Okay, but the Oilers did end up advancing to the Stanley Cup Finals, which means people looking for her could have somewhere in the area of 7 opportunities this month. This goes to show how much these dweebs that write about celebrities and report on this, no, you would have an opportunity of 3. You dumb fucks. Like, you're going to have 2 games in Edmonton. She's in Edmonton. Do you think that she's flying back and forth between... This is why nerds behind computers just don't make the world a better place. You need assholes. You need idiots. You need people like, why are... I get it. You're just trying to write an article, but let's be realistic here. We got fucking 3 opportunities for this to go down, for this to happen, for this woman to shine one more time. Do you think she gets back in? Do you think she's definitely been identified? And I imagine that the NHL is not too stoked that some lady dumped her tits in the arena. You know, see these suit dummies, these dorks, you know, these losers in high school that go on to be like these Bill Gates of the world, and then like, you know, they didn't get any action when they were younger, and so now the whole world has to pay for it, right? Like another prime example is something like this. Like, how many times have you seen a lady dump her cans out at like an MLB game or any major sporting event, and then all of a sudden they release a statement being like, well, you don't appreciate this at the ballpark, and blah, blah, blah. Enough. African tribes walk around with the cans out all day long. You go to some French anti-oil protest, for fuck's sakes, and what do they got? They got tits out in the streets, and we can't have them at a sporting event? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that this is a free country. I forgot that we can live a little out here. Excuse me. I didn't realize that we had to holster the guns around here. Unbelievable. Oh no, sorry, excuse me, don't worry. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to take my son to a drag time story hour to look at prosthetic tits on a male body. But I can't allow my son to appreciate some lady and the work of some top-notch surgeon. I will say, applaud him, why don't we? No. Excuse that. Knock it off. Cut it off in the crowd. Enough of that. You know, I'm Conan O'Brien of a show that nobody listens to, for fuck's sakes. And here we are. You know, we got to shut it down. We can't have the cans out at the NHL game. You know, I paid $800 for a seat in this joint. If somebody wants to dump their tits, they better. I'm over here guzzling your $22 beers, and you're telling me that if some lady wants to set them free, we're supposed to be like, whoa, cover them up. Shut the fuck up, you suit dummies. Lick where it stinks. Let us enjoy life. Why don't you? We're having a good time. We're having a good time. Titties. Good time. A1 marketing. Now they have to, that girl fires at, take the cam soda deal. Do it. I know. I just sat here shitting on the idea of these porn dorks, but hey, when the opportunity arises, like I said, or like we didn't touch on it too deeply, like we've witnessed this before in the past, and we watched a young woman fumble the bag pretty hard. You have an opportunity here to set up a nice little Easter egg for you. All for what? Showing your tits? Nobody cares about that, you know? In one swipe of a thumb, a titty could hit your timeline at any moment's time. And we're supposed to walk around, you know, with these guardrails all around. It's gonna protect the internet. No, let these moments shine through. This is what we live for. This is why this podcast exists. This is the country I want to live in, where ladies like that are at the hockey game. And I don't want to see a woman like yourself fumble the bag, you know. You do something like that, you garner that kind of attention, you know. As somebody in entertainment, I am not only congratulating, but also envious of the attention that you've garnered around yourself and how many people are applauding what you have done. And we enjoy that, okay? Now, I'm talking to you because you probably don't listen to this. And if you do, I salute you, okay? I respect the hell out of you. It's a brave move. In a time where we all needed it, you stepped up to the plate and gave us exactly what we wanted. And once again, don't fumble the bag. We watched it with Alexis Fruling, didn't we? Offers up the wazoo. Porn offers up the wazoo. All declined. And here you got spit roasted in a back alley for Paul Wall tickets. Pretty sure it was, again, whatever it may be. All for what? You know, all to go viral on the internet, and you could have made millions. You know, I understand an industry like the porn industry, not the best, but these guys are asking you just to dump them one more time. You don't have to take 2 dicks in you. Seems like a pretty all right deal. $100,000 to dump them? You did it for free. In fact, you paid money because you had to get inside that building. $100,000 to sit on a webcam and be like, whoop, thank you very much. And take the money and run. Take the money. In fact, you got all the negotiating power. $100,000. I'd be $250,000. You got a deal. $250,000. $250,000. You got a deal. Unreal. Makes me proud to be Canadian. Once again. Makes me proud. But then we got to get into stuff that doesn't make a guy proud. Oh no, not this. And that's how to rebut at the barbecue. All right, this is a prime example why I think the Liberal Party is just missing the mark, you know, and this is not a conservative podcast. It's just funny watching these guys totally destroy themselves. I like watching that happen. Anytime something like this happens, you know, when somebody is, it's like you're watching themselves destroy their own empire with their stupid tactics that they think are working. And it's just, you know, and they keep doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. And Their polling is dipping, and everything surrounding them is just not quite working out. So they got to like, here's the triple down. It's like now the only people that are left supporting the Liberal Party, they don't even know what to do anymore. Their hands are in the air, and the Liberal Party knows this because they're just getting beaten down with facts, right? So what do? This is on their website, liberal.ca, BBQ Bounter 2024. All right. Now, here's what they write. As we continue pushing ahead with our plan to deliver fairness for every generation, Pierre Poilievre and his conservatives have been flipping the narrative and spreading a lot of baloney about the work Justin Trudeau and our Liberal team are doing to build a better Canada. As you prepare for the first barbecue of the season, here are some sizzling lines to remember when you're getting grilled by a friend or a family member trying to bring the heat about politics. It is funny to think because like majority of liberal-leaning folks tend to be vegan. So it's not like, these two folks are really gathering around the grill to discuss politics, really get to the nitty gritty on how this place should be ran. And in their head, it's like, hey, if you're getting surrounded and grilled by these people, here's some rebuts that we've prepared for you. Okay, somebody needs to stop the Liberal spending and fix the budget. Now click the answer. This is fun. This is a whole piece about this. Our Liberal team is making historic investments in housing, public health care, pharmacare, dental care, the environment, child care, and so much more. These investments are leveling the playing field for young Canadians so that they have the same opportunities as their parents and grandparents. But Pierre Poilievre and his Conservatives are trying to cut programs that middle-class families depend on, like National Universal Pharmacare, the Canada Dental Care Plan, and the carbon rebate. If it means that their rich friends pay less taxes, here's what it boils down to. If you want your budget well done, you can't trust the Conservatives. We have a real plan. This is coming from a party that, keep in mind, said the budget will balance itself, okay? And the historic investments in housing, how's that going for anybody looking to purchase a house? This is insane. That here is where you are, is that you have to set up your own people for failure. Because now, look, we can sit here and poke holes in this all day. I just find the responses of what they've put out there hilarious. The hilarity that ensues of watching somebody's own boat sink while they're pointing at the other one and being like, that boat's way worse, as more like they're on a fucking yacht, they're drinking champagne. And I don't mean this because I'm a quote unquote conservative supporter. I'm just saying that the ship is sinking and they're being like, it's worse over there. You're on an exploded Titanic, right? That's ripped in half, sinking down, trying to swim towards a life raft. You're on a life raft pointing at the yacht party being like, doesn't that look shitty over there? Doesn't that look shitty over there? Isn't it more fun around here in this little life raft surrounded by a candle, freezing to death, while we're looking at those folks indoors in this freezing cold weather, dancing, giggling, having a good time? Now, I'm not saying any of Pierre's policies are gonna save Canada. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of no fucking political party, but this is how this is perceived to me as a outside looking in at Canadian politics. Now, here's a fun one. Pierre Poilievre is the kind of leader the Conservatives need, and the funny thing about even all the cartoons. They made sure to be diverse. Like the first one is like a black guy with a fade and a nice beard. And then the next cartoon looks to be like a Filipino woman. I would go with Filipino. Yeah. And then a white woman, another white woman, a black grandma, And then like another guy that I would look at and be like, oh, this guy looks like he has 2 cats and has cute nicknames for them that stemmed from the show Big Bang Theory. And then lastly, an old white guy. Yeah, the very diverse marketing of the libs, making sure that they hit their marks on inclusion on everything. Firstly, okay, here is what they say. Pierre Poilievre is exactly the kind of leader the conservatives need. Firstly, anytime someone you know starts taking notes from infamous American conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, you should take anything they say with a grain of salt. Pierre Poilievre doesn't care about Canadians. He has repeatedly called for cuts to programs that middle class, back to this, $10, the carbon rebate, the 3.87 million affordable homes we're unlocking. What is an affordable home in Canada now? Is it just a sea can? They're handing out tents. Is that what they're doing? They're handing out tents and giving them, going door to door on folks that have defaulted on their mortgages, so that way they can move in to some of the homeless encampments that are taking place all throughout downtown cores in Canadian cities. Is that what affordable housing is these days? That's what it seems to be. They're just going around from rich neighborhoods and asking to collect all the Amazon boxes, so that way they can, if we can construct these all together, I think that we'd be able to piece together a small, sustainable city that most of these people can find affordable. He'd rather promote the interests of his corporate lobbyist friends and hang out with far-right extremist groups. Oh, God, we gotta fucking... What is this? Where does this take us? Everybody's happy with what they're doing. Meets with far-right extremist group out of Nova Scotia. This is hilarious. Hilarious. And then they just go to their own ad of being like, everybody's happy with you're doing. Courting far-right extremist. What is it? Nobody can define on the left what far-right extremism is. It's just one of those things that they say is like, well, you know it when you see it. Oh, do I? Well, because I don't know. It's just like far-right extremism, just now Canadian patriotism. Because that's what it seems to be coming across, is anybody who's like slightly patriotic tends to lean a little more conservative. I mean, given the circumstances of like the financial crisis that's looming in the near future of whatever country that you're in right now, it seems like in the US or Canada, with a Democratic leader and a liberal leader in both of these places. It's just like, I think people are, I don't know, it's a flip-flop, oh God, yeah, he once was a babyface turned heel, using wrestling terms to describe politics, but it is hilarious that this is the grounds that they have to stand on, is like, oh no, he's taking notes from infamous American conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, where Jones is I know this is like such a easy take to have. Well, Alex Jones is like hitting at 98% right now. And like the few things that he did get wrong were kind of extreme, but no matter how deep you are in the Alex Jones world, regardless of what it is, he's broke some major stories about these elites that really tore down the Iron Curtain that separated us, There was rumors running around that these guys gather and have satanic rituals to a giant owl statue, and he was able to collect the footage and give it to us. And now we're supposed to sit around and be like, oh, well, he's kind of a fucking lunatic. But using this as like a crutch to be like, the conspiracy theorists. Meanwhile, the conspiracy theorists have just been chalking up wins against these guys, Oh, they're trying to bring in digital IDs. They come out and they're like, we're not trying to bring in digital IDs at all. Next thing you know, you need a QR code to go to a Boston Pizza to shovel in fucking reheated food and $10 draft beers. You need to scan the QR code, the code check girl. The 14-year-old that's making minimum wage now has to act as a bouncer to a fucking dog shit truck stop diner. And that's even giving truck stop diners a bad name. You know? Incredible. And then it was like, oh, they're going to force a vaccine on us in the beginning. Remember, it's like, watch out, they're going to do it. We're not going to force a vaccine on you. Psych, we're going to force like 4. You need 2. And if you don't have it, you can't go to work. You can't go to work. And now finally we're all comfortable about talking about some of this shit. Like Dr. Fauci is coming out and saying some nonsense of being like, we didn't force anybody. They complied. Yeah, gee, I wonder why. Because you forced it on like the businesses, and it was insane that the shit that they put us through. But no. We all just blindly complied to all these wild rules and regulations that weren't laws, right? These weren't laws. These were just, they were rules and regulations that if you wanted to collect a paycheck that you had to go through. And then the insane rhetoric that Trudeau was saying on live television, it was like, we will make sure that you cannot travel beside a vaccinated person. And then has the audacity. It's like they forget that the internet exists. It's like they forget that the internet exists and these clips circulate over and over and over again. As soon as they try and defend their stance of like, no, I didn't say that, the clip then surfaces for one last little spin. Not even the last spin. What am I saying, hack? It just resurfaces once again, and they look like fools, but they are allowed to look like idiots. I don't know how these people still keep a job. You know, if you were this is like the only job where the illusion of an election will put you in a position of power. You can be wrong so many times and still keep your job, a paycheck, and a pension. Well after you're gone and done a shit job. You can leave that job with it on fire. On absolute fire. Burning. It's chemical burns, electrical fires. It's a grease fire. All the types of fires that you can have under one roof. And you can walk away from that and being like, well, it wasn't my fault. Even though you struck the match, turned on the oven, and put a fork in the fucking electrical socket. Somehow, you get to walk away from it telling yourself that I did a wonderful job. Can't wait to collect my pension. What are we going to do for the rest of our time? But it's insane. And then to put this out, like this is going to help your stance as a liberal supporter. We need to axe the carbon tax. It's making everything more expensive. Pierre Poilievre and his conservatives chants axe the tax. Okay. As much as they want, but it doesn't change the fact that it works. The Canadian carbon rebate is possible because we put a price on pollution. In fact, 8 out of 10 Canadians get more money back through the rebate than they pay into the system because the big polluters pay the most. Are you sure about that? Because, I don't know, trickle-down economics seem to explain to me that somehow all the time that the bill is then, it falls on the doorstep of the consumers. So it's difficult, we're seeing a rising cost in a lot of materials, goods, whether goods and services, I should say. A lot of people aren't going out. A lot of people are picking up a second, maybe even a third job to make ends meet. So it's not exactly a wonderful world out there, and not a wonderful time to be presenting a new tax for folks. And this last one I just wanted to cover. What happened to Canadian healthcare? Every Canadian deserves quality healthcare deserves quality care when and where they need it. Pierre Poilievre and his conservatives think otherwise. They want to cut free contraceptives and life-saving diabetes medication and voted against dental care and have tried to block attempts to strengthen our public healthcare system. Yeah, contraceptives, that's what we need to be taking care of the most, See, the Canadian population is slowly dwindling, so it's almost like this is like a ploy and now forgive me, I'm thinking out loud, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, all fucking alt-right extremist, I guess. But it does seem like a ploy to champion this feminist movement of like, my body, my choice. And then like telling these folks that, or giving these people contraceptives like birth control and whatnot, rather than condoms, or, you know, if this and abortion and all that to then plummet the birth rate of Canadians, and then, you know, replacing that with immigration, and somehow this is going to balance itself out. Maybe in the long run, sure, it will. Yes. Because you got to catch up with the influx of population that's coming right now. And I don't think a lot of people truly understand, like, it's not that folks aren't anti-immigration. It's just the influx of people that have come into Canada at such a vast and fast rate. We don't have the resources, which is why our healthcare system is crumbling. You know, we don't have the housing needs for all these people that are coming over here, which is skyrocketing the price of everything, because they're like, hey, competition breeds more fucking, what do you want? You know, competition is going to cause the prices of this to raise, because some people can come in with a better offer, right? So Jerry comes in, Jerry, I say that in air quotes, Jerry can be Palestinian, he can be Filipino, he can be white. Jerry is whoever Jerry was in your mind when I said that, okay? But Jerry comes in because he's got the fucking cash. He can offer $100,000 over asking price on a place in a neighborhood, which then raises the prices of all the people around it. You know, all of a sudden now, the average price of a 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, 2-bath house raises $150,000 because these people are willing to pay it. And it's it's just causing a fucking just chaos. Chaos is ensuing in Canada. And now we're seeing problems now with international students. You're seeing problems all across neighborhoods, you know? And it has nothing to do with like the true root of it. I'm just saying, like, all of a sudden now more people are relying on these resources and government funded, you know, institutions and hospitals and these clinics. Now hospital wait times are up. You're only allowed to bring in like one issue at a time before you rebook another appointment for a walk-in clinic. It's getting crazy. But their big concern is helping Canadians with contraceptives, rolling out a dental care that will support 9 million uninsured Canadians, removing the GST and HST on psychotherapy and counseling, and introducing a 988 suicide crisis helpline, which is just going to be modified into the MAIDS program. You're going to call there and be like, hey, I'm suicidal, and be like, that's great. When do you want your appointment? You called the right place at the right time. Guess what? Killing is our business. You know, we're just going to harvest your organs and sell them to the Chinese. Reducing wait time, modernizing our healthcare system, and so much more. You can read more about it at the where does this take you? I just want to see the link where it takes us. What is it? Liberal strengthening the public healthcare system. Reduce wait times. Address. No, we're out of here. Let's do one more. How will I ever get a home? The Liberals, this one, here it is. Last one. The Liberals' woke policies have gone too far. It's just too easy to roast this claim, they write. Pierre Poilievre's conservative politicians are complaining about woke paper coffee lids. We'll click on that link right after to distract from the fact that their only plans to make deep cuts to programs Canadians rely on and bring far-right American-style politics to Canada. Pierre Poilievre has continuously demonstrated that hate, discrimination, and name-calling are welcome in his Conservative Party. And in the past few weeks, we've seen him tell far-right extremists, everyone's happy with what you're doing, resort to personal attacks in the House of Commons, and allow his MPs to reopen the abortion debate. While Justin Trudeau and our Liberal team will always stand up for Canadians' rights and freedoms. Meanwhile, we're trying to pass a bill that if you say anything hateful online about us or trans kids, we will put you in jail for up to life. Pierre Poilievre and his Conservatives have demonstrated that they'll do anything to win, which I think is the plan, right? You would think, which is why you would put out something like this. It's like politics is too transparent now that we can see through the actions and the words that they say, that all it is just smear campaign on smear campaign. Nobody really tells you what it is they're going to do. It's just like, it's just like, how can I shit or try and attempt to dunk on this guy to further myself in the polls? And some guys are just really good at it, and the Liberals wasted no time to make sure that they have updated their logo to the Pride Parade, Pride Parade, Jesus Christ, the Pride logo on their YouTube channel. So that's great. You know, we got to make sure that that's happening all throughout the month of June. But here we go. The woke paper coffee lids. Conservative MP declares war on Leon Wedman has had it with, and apparently also their new pizza. What is the woke? What is it? What is a woke? Well, Canada, this is the last straw. I mean, lid. Really, Tim Hortons paper lids that disintegrate in your mouth? Come on. Okay, so I see the environmental fucking aspect of trying to make, bolster yourself up as like, oh, yeah, we care so much about the environment. Now we're going to close out the show with something fun, something that everybody can enjoy. Canadian media, once again, making fools of themselves. And we are here for it, folks. You know, thank God for the federal funded media organization known as the CBC, Foreign streamers must pay into fund to boost Canadian content, CRTC says. Money will be put forward funding for local Indigenous broadcasting per briefing. This is how bad Canadian media is at making money, is that they have to extort streaming services that are making money. You know, that's the only way that we can get Canadian content produced in this country, is by extorting, you know, and we watch it time and time again. You know, next thing you know, all that's going to happen is we don't get Netflix. The same thing is probably going to occur that took place with what was it, Bill C-16? Was it C-16 or C-13? I believe it was C-16. Just don't quote me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying, folks? Where the Liberal government then tabled a bill to try and extort money out of big tech companies like Google and Facebook or I guess Meta. And then both of them were just like, fuck you. And now we don't get news on Instagram or Facebook, which totally backfired on the whole plan to like extort money out of these companies. And once again, they're trying to do it again with the CRTC by making something like Netflix, for instance, pay a portion of their profits into, you know, producing Canadian television, which, you know, apart from like, what is like the last good series, you know, the last series that really made a mark? Is it probably would Letterkenny probably be the one or that broke through? And I'm talking in like the past like 10 years. It's either Letterkenny or Schitt's Creek. Either one of those. Either one of those series or in the past, you know, you could say Trailer Park Boys, but that broke through quite a while ago. Yeah, I'd say like those Canadian produced television shows. And keep in mind that Schitt's Creek was only produced in Canada because American networks passed on it. And it was between, I believe, a local network, I can't remember which one, and the CBC on picking up Schitt's Creek. And so then it aired in Canada first. And eventually, once they seen that the series had some steam behind it, then American networks picked it up. So, you know, they passed on it. Then Eugene Levy, being the great Jewish Canadian that he is, and I know a lot of you pro-Palestinian supporters out there are probably fans of a show like Schitt's Creek. It caters to your style of humor. Isn't it upsetting to know that Dan and Eugene Levy are Jewish? Now, I know this is another one of those J.K. Rowling's is a transphobe fucking events unfolding before your eyes, and I'm sorry to break it to you, but I know that this is a heavily watched lib show, right? A lot of libs tune into this show. So I know that most of you fine folks out there are probably a little upsetty spaghetti to understand that your favorite show is and produced by Jews, you know. Crazy to think in something like the entertainment industry. I get that, but maybe it's time to put down the Palestine flags. Just saying. Just saying. So now the decision that now here is what the CRTC said. Their chief executive, Vicky Eatrides, I'm sorry, I butchered it. Today's decision will ensure that online streaming services make meaningful contributions to Canadian and Indigenous content. The measure was introduced. See, they've tapped the well so dry that they're running out of money just to throw at all this nonsense being produced. You know, like all these. Let's be for real. When's the last time you sat down and watched a CBC produced series, TV show, movie that's been produced in Canada? You know, we don't have the same means as like what Hollywood has to produce the fine film and fine television that you want to watch. And so what do? We extort these companies so that way we can get more of this garbage produced. And I don't even mean because it's Canadian or Indigenous. It's just all really bad. There's so many loopholes that you have to jump because the CRTC has their rules and regulations of what you have to abide by before you can even start shooting this type of content here in Canada. So like, you wonder why a lot of people are tuning in to things like YouTube and paying attention to the series that are on Netflix, because there's really nothing, you know, CBC is a dying entity. It can't keep up with the demand that people have for the content that they want to watch. So what does Canada have to do? They got to send in the big guns. They got to send in the CRTC to gather up some funds and extort it out of these companies. So that way they can keep like fanning the flames of the burning tire fire of Canadian media. You know, watch here. Let's see what the Heritage don't have a commercial. Oh, that's why. Give me. Oh, never mind. I don't even know where that fucking thing is. We're not watching it. I'm sorry, folks. We're not watching it. I got everything unplugged. I had Sam in here, and then I got everything unplugged. I moved shit around. We're not watching it. We got an ad. Your battery might die. The show's falling apart. But so here's what they plan on. They think that they're going to get 200. Where was it? Here we go. The levy could raise $200 million a year annually. That's if these, you know, Netflix and Disney Plus and all these abide by this. Now you're counting your chickens before they hatch, I would say, and that's the same thing that they thought they would do with the whole, you know, the News Act, the Online News Act, and that turned around and bit them in the ass pretty hard, didn't it? Didn't it? It made them look awfully silly, didn't it? But that just goes to show you how disconnected that the Canadian media is with the rest of the planet, and how much that like people just don't really give a shit about what's happening up here. You know, they think that they can force their hand and it never goes the way that they think it's going to go. And I find that amusing about the Canadian government and their idea of like how they're able to like try and self-manufacture these funds that nobody, like, we're not taking that serious. We don't have a leg to stand on. We have weak leadership that everybody views as a dipshit. You know, if you see the media about Canada from other countries, not exactly the most positive experience. We are looked at as a goofy fucking nation. You know, we're like a roadside attraction outside of Disneyland at this point. That's what we're viewed as from other news outlets from across the planet. And it's hilarious to watch it all kind of burn. At this point, you just got to kind of laugh, I feel like. And I hate to be like a doomsday kind of guy, but it's just, you got to enjoy a little bit of the downfall. You got to, you know, embrace it a little bit, have a giggle at it. You know, not everybody out here is failing immensely like the Canadian government is and the CRTC and trying to, you know, force these funds into their pockets. So that way we got a new show about a non-binary Cherokee woman who's trying to make her way in the entertainment business in Toronto, you know, or God forbid that we don't have a series about how an interracial lesbian couple is struggling to find the perfect cat to raise in East Hastings. You know, these are both great series ideas, and I want writers credit on either of them. If any of CBC's executives are watching the show and decide like, oh, he's got a kind of an idea there, you know, then yeah, actually, 2 trans women opened a coffee shop in a small town. Their biggest feat is trying to fit in with the rest of the women in the town because the women there are Trump supporters. And so they become radicalized conservatives that are now trans women. And these are the dangerous factors. And we'll highlight on like how, you know, the influence around you, depending on where you are, can turn you into a demonic person and an evil person for thinking the other way. Oh boy, how great it'll be. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. Great way to support the show. Appreciate you listening. Covered a lot of topics here. Hey, titties out, girl. We salute you. We started off strong. We had a good time, right? It was good news and then slowly tapered off into bad news. And we just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. DangerCatShop.com for merch and ticket needs. See you in the future, folks.